Hello guys and welcome. I know a lot of you must be crazy confused right now about this video's title, 4-star characters being better than 5-star characters for most of the players. What does Marcel mean by that? Like how comes? Let's first of all talk about what's really important in all RPG games. And what's important in all RPG games, you want to freaking max out your characters. You want the best weapon, the best gear, the best artifacts. You want to have like all your skills unlocked and everything, right? And of course you also want your passives to be there, right? Like here, Xiangyu gains a 20% higher damage bonus, for example. Like I will have 20% more damage once I unlock this. But now here's the problem, and the problem comes with the unlocking, and that's also why 4-star characters are for most players better than 5-star characters. Like let's compare today Xiangling and Diluc. So Diluc is a 5-star hero, very difficult to get. A lot of players need to spend 100 plus wishes on him to get him, sometimes even 200-300. Like I heard about people that had 200 plus wishes until they finally got Diluc. So those 5-star heroes are quite rare and they're difficult to get. But what's so special about those 5-star heroes? So the 5-star heroes have very cool abilities and they often have like quite a strong passives. Like if you look at, for example, at like Deluxe passives, okay, those are just the attacks, right? Those are like really OP attacks. But like those passives here, for example, charge attack stamina cost is decreased by 50% and its duration is increased by 3 seconds. So your heavy attacks cost 50% less on this character than on other characters, for example. What is really beautiful, right? And it is much stronger than you will see on like some 4-star characters, right? But there's a downside that I will explain later about those 5-star characters. And here, this was also really cool. The Pyro enchantment provided by Dawn, that's his elemental burst, lasts 4 seconds longer and you gain a 20% Pyro damage bonus, what is super good. And he has very OP constellations. Here we gain 15% more damage if enemies are higher than 50% health. So if you enter the combat with him, you're gonna deal crazy amounts of damage. And if you take damage, your attack is increased and your attack speed. What is also really nice, and here it's 10% and the speed by 5%. This is freaking OP, right? Same here. Like I'm just gonna quickly skip through, but you probably already see where I'm getting with the constellations, right? Like, especially like the less constellations, once you have constellation level 6. And this should be every player's goal, to reach constellation level 6 on your main characters, because that's when you get the maximum potential out of those. So here, after casting Searing Onslaught, the next 2 normal attacks within the next 6 seconds, it's actually quite a long duration, 6 seconds, will have their damage and attack speed increased by 30%. Since you're using a claymore, a heavy sword, right, and your attacks aren't super fast on Diluc, you're gonna have like a lot of heavy attacks landing there with a 30% damage speed increase. This is crazy. So it's quite OP, but there's like one huge downside if you want to get those constellations. The way Genshin Impact currently works is you need to get like your wishes up, and you need to get the same character's banner multiple times. And once you have the character multiple times, like let's look at my Xiangyu, for example. Like I already unlocked one because I had him twice. You gain those constellations. And the constellations are, in my opinion, more OP than the regular talents, the regular passives. Because here, for example, increases the maximum number of ranged swords by 1. This is such a huge buff. Because like, those ranged swords right there, like usually you get 3 of them, right? And they deal a lot of damage, but not only that, they also give you a damage reduction. And after a while, swords disappear if you, for example, like take damage and stuff and you drag on the fight, right? So it's quite easy to run out of those water swords. Same if you swap to another character and you switch out, like you're gonna lose eventually swords. However, if you get like the constellation, you suddenly have 1 more sword, and it's more likely that you can actually last until his passive takes place. And this passive is Hydropathic. And when the raid sword is shattered or when its duration expires, it regenerates the current character's HP based on 6% of Xingyu's max HP. So, like, let's say you're casting it, and for some reason it shatters or something, right? You gain 6% of his max HP. Now, we had at first 3 swords. So, we can do the math here. This is 18% max HP you get from him once it's over, right? However, if you have 1 constellation, you're not getting 18%, but suddenly you're getting 24% of his max health as a burst heal, basically, right? So you can already see where I'm going at with this, how OP constellations are, and how they should be the goal of every player that wants to max out. And especially if there should ever be a competitive mode like PvP, because, like, oof. Like, it's just so crazy OP. Like, I've seen actually a video of a Xiangling, and I think she had, if I'm not mistaken, 3 constellations versus a Diluc with 0 constellations. And it is really difficult to get 5-star characters like 3 or 4 times within a month. Unless you spend crazy amounts of money to get a lot of wishes. But a lot of people can't afford this. Like, maybe someone will spend between $20 to $50 for wishes. Like, that's what average people do, right? Like, that's something I would spend at most, like maybe like $20, $30 and get some wishes. But if I do this, I probably only get maybe 2 constellations if I'm lucky, 3. However, those 4-star characters that appear quite often through your wishes, they're easy to max out. And if we, like, for example, look at the constellations of Xiangling. Like, let's assume we have a Diluc like we have right now, and we have the Xiangling, and I'm lucky and I gain 3 constellations on Xiangling, but I'm unlucky and I don't even gain... Okay, let's make an exception. I gain 1 Diluc, but I gain 3 Xianglings from all the wishes that I bought or that I earned. So let's see, what do we have here? Let's do the comparison with the numbers. Enemies hit by Gooba's attacks have their pyro resistance reduced by 15%. Oh wow, that is crazy high. Like, her ultimate will hit like a truck. And here the second one. The last attack in a normal attack sequence applies the implode status on the enemy for 2 seconds. Oh wow, this is actually OP. An explosion will occur once this duration ends, dealing 75% of Xiangling's attack as AoE pyro damage. And that does nullify the attack that happens within those 2 seconds. So let's say you do a normal attack after exactly 2 seconds and this thing explodes. You deal a lot of burst damage and it's AoE. So if you already reach the 2nd constellation here and you have Diluc with 0 constellations, if you do a DPS testing, Xiangling will by far, okay, not by far, but maybe by a bit, outperform Diluc. And if you have like the right artifacts, and since this is AoE pyro damage, ooh, you're gonna hit really, really hard. And if you get to the 3rd one and you can like level this up, Pyronado, her ultimate, and you get like a higher level, like, you guys do know this increases each time you level it up, right? So you're gonna get here a damage increase as well from being able to level it up further. And once you get to the bottom, it's just getting way and way stronger. The further you go with the constellations, and I think that's intended by the devs, the more OP they are. Here, for example, Pyronade's duration is increased by 40 freaking %. That means that what's flying around, like this OP fire elemental burst, will last 40% longer. That is a long amount of time. And if you have, like, for example, hydro heroes and you want to take advantage of vaporize, what actually doubles your hydro damage on that target that's getting vaporized, like, this is OP. You can get so many elemental reactions with that. So she makes such a good group mate then. And here Goba will also receive a damage buff, because if you level it further he gets more stats, right? And here the last one. This one is actually crazy OP. For the duration of Pyronado, all party members receive a 15% pyro damage bonus. So let's say you had a Klee in your group, for example, as a support DPS. Or maybe you run still Diluc, or you have Bennett, for example. Like, you're gonna deal a lot of damage with multiple characters. Here it is 15%. That is so crazy much. So yeah, like imagine you have here like 5 constellations and there are only 2. And that's why 4-star characters are often outperforming 5-star characters. I've seen a video of someone maining Xiangyu as a main DPS character, and this person was at 5 constellations already, and he was out DPSing all those 5-star heroes that had 1 or 2 constellations. He was a bit higher in his DPS. So what they really should do in this game, and I find this a bit annoying and very, very sad, that you can only get constellations from wishes and having multiple banners of the same character. Like, this is so crazy. Like, when I got like the first character, and actually this was, I think it was Noel though, right? Yeah, this was Noel. Here I've already quite many constellations. So this was my first one that I had like 2 times, and this gave me a healing effect increase by 100%. And the second one decreases the stamina consumptions of Noel charged attacks. So the spin to win kind of move she does is 20% cheaper, and it does 15% more damage. That's why suddenly my Noel felt like a DPS character, from a tank character to a DPS character. This was a crazy feeling when I got this. And yeah, here I can level it up faster, and if you actually get to the bottom, Noel makes a great DPS character. Sweeping time increases Noel's attack by an additional 15% of her defense. So if you have artifacts with some stats in defense, you're going to gain a lot of extra damage, and you're going to be tankier, but you still gain damage. And every enemy defeated during this skill duration adds 1 second to the duration. So if you have like a lot of monsters and you take them down with her, oh my, you're going to have a long lasting ultimate effect. Like, this is so crazy. That's why I keep saying it is so broken, but this is horrible, because you can only get them from not just wishes, but from having the same character multiple times. And they just keep adding new characters. Like, if you go on the news, like, there are new characters coming, right? Now we have like, for example, Child, yeah, we have now Diona, and like, probably next month they're gonna add another 2 characters. So we are getting more and more characters, and this makes it way more difficult to max out our characters. Like, I've played a lot of MMORPGs before, like, be it Diablo 3, be it Elder Scrolls Online. I was a bit getting into BDO, and to be honest, if you can maximize a character, why would you main him, right? Like, why would I want to main Diluc if I can have a 4-star character like Xiangling on 4 constellations, if I already know she's gonna hit way harder and do more DPS on DPSs than Diluc? So you need to be crazy lucky. The only time it actually makes sense to replace a 4-star character is if at least you got half of it, maybe like 3 or 4 constellations here on a 5-star character. And then if you have like 5 constellations or 4 character and you just want 2 constellations behind, you can think about replacing the 4-star with a 5-star one. But yeah, I always recommend stick with your 4-star characters. Try to be patient. Maybe you need 4 months, maybe 5 months. And after 4 or 5 months, maybe you are at constellation 3 or 4. And you can consider changing your, for example, Xiangling with Diluc, because now you suddenly have here 3-4 constellations and they're in line with the damage, or he might even be a tiny bit stronger then. But, and talking about stats, let me quickly demonstrate something. So currently, yes, I haven't advanced that far on this account, but currently I'm using the martial arts set here. And what I'm about to show you guys now is the comparison of the stats of Xiangling with all the artifacts and gear, and Diluc if he is rocking the same stuff. So let's, I misclicked, my bad. So yeah, let's look at her stats. So she has 7000 HP and her attack is on 526. I would just ignore defense and elemental mastery for now. We're gonna focus on attack and max HP. So here 7526. Now he doesn't wear anything. The only exception is he has a sword that has the same base attack damage than Xiangling. So let's quickly give him all the artifacts that Xiangling is currently using. So let's start here. Let's equip this. We're gonna focus mostly on attack, but also a bit we're gonna focus as well on HP. So we will see. if the damage is actually different, like the base damage. I mean, of course, elemental attacks play a role, and he has a bit of a better elemental attack, because it's like those fire strikes, they're quite OP, right? But if you look just at base stats, okay, let's go back. So what are we at? Oh my gosh, I need to get out and press that again. Okay, here. Okay, so he has about 2000 more HP here, but wait, doesn't he have like a few attacks less? Okay, his defense is higher though. So he's basically a very similar damage output to Xiangling, but he's a bit tankier, and he's most likely burstier because of his ultimates. So he's this kind of hero that can just jump in and deals a lot of damage in a short amount of time in comparison to Xiangling. Xiangling is more of a character where you have to build up damage, so they definitely play differently. That's why they are also for different roles, but you can also use her for physical damage build for main DPS, and you're actually gonna outperform Diluc on probably like 3rd constellation as a main DPS. So yeah, this is exactly why I believe, and why I know, and why I have seen by numbers that 4-star heroes are better for most players than 5-star heroes. However, if you're one of those really lucky people, and I wish I would be one of them, but unfortunately I'm not, and you manage to get here to 3 or 4, feel free to main 5-star, and you're gonna outperform the 4-star by a little bit. But yeah, so for those of you that only have 4-star characters, don't be frustrated. Just make sure you get the multiple times so you can stack up on constellations. And I do hope that Miho, the developers of this game, they're gonna change the way constellations work. One suggestion I would have is, like, we do have those dailies, right, in the dungeons. For example, here we have dailies, and we can get like some materials, right? Oh yeah, I need to do this today because I want to ascend my sword. And maybe there should be like a 5 or 10% chance for those rounds to drop our constellation elixir, or what it is. Looks like an elixir to me. So they should have like a way for people, like they should make it possible for people to grind for constellation in this game and not go for multiple banners. Or they could change it so where if you do get a character twice, like a banner, it will be converted into a general constellation elixir or stone. You can use it for any character, but it shouldn't be where you need the fitting character for that banner to get the constellation, because this is gonna take tens of thousands of wishes until you can maximize one character, because it is so crazy lucky to get a character multiple times. You often need, even for 4-star character, 60 or 70 wishes and a bit of luck until you get this character twice. There are only a few cases where you get like in 100 wishes the same character 3 or 4 times. You're most likely going to have 2 times the 4-star character, but yeah, they really should do something about it, and I hope they will do this, and they will listen to the community on the forums as well, because they keep giving us a lot of new characters, but we can't max out our constellations, and the passives from the constellations, they are just so OP. Just like I demonstrated earlier with the rain swords, like having suddenly 6% more healing, that is a lot. Like, that's really a lot. So yeah, I hope this was helpful for you guys and you don't feel frustrated if you have 4-star heroes. Just keep grinding, just keep wishing and hope to maximize your characters. And if you want to have like a cool group, like I'm actually having a cool group right now, and you can go for purely 4-star heroes like me, for example. I have Xingyu, I have Sucrose, I have Xiangling, I have Barbara. And I think I have also 2 constellations here, yeah. So yeah, she regenerates 1 energy every 10 seconds, so ultimate is up faster. And decreases the cooldown of Let the Show Begin by 15%. This is a lot, and during this ability's duration, your active character gains a 15% hydro damage bonus. And this is one of the reasons why, for example, I'm running here Xiangyu, because I know he gets a 50% hydro damage bonus. So Barbara and Xiangyu, they make just a beautiful combo. So yeah, guys, I wish everyone a wonderful day. I hope this was helpful for you guys, and don't forget to subscribe. You're already at 50,000 subscribers. Let's get to 100,000, and please don't forget to like this video. Please stay all safe and healthy, and I will see you guys next time.